Hello and welcome. You're watching NewsX and I'm Vaishali Kohli. Now both gold and silver prices edged higher on Wednesday, February 11, after a downward rally on Tuesday amid expectations of a US Fed rate cut. Spot gold traded marginally higher at $5,065 per ounce, while spot silver surged 1.16% to $81.32 per ounce during the Asian trading hours on February 11. The price of gold in India today is 15,851 per gram for 24 carat gold, 14,530 per gram for 22 carat gold, and 11,889 per gram for 18 carat gold. The price of silver in India today is 290 per gram and 90,000 per kilogram. With that, let's take a look at gold and silver prices, viewers. Let me show you that we are going to be looking at the gold and silver prices. Now, NewsX viewers is the only channel that gets you this comparison on a regular basis, so you have an idea of what's really happening. Gold prices per gram today versus yesterday. Let's talk about the 10th of Feb first. Yesterday, 15,893 for 24 carat, and today it's at a 15,866. Let's get to 22 carat now. 10th February was 14,570 and today it's at a 14,545. 10th was 18 carat. All right. Now let's look at today versus last week. 24 carat on the 4th of Feb was 15,959 and on the 11th of Feb it's 15,866. 22 carat was 14,630 and 14,545 on the 11th of Feb. 18 carat 11,973, 11,904 on the 11th of Feb. Let's look at today versus last month. Now 24 carat last month was 14,061. Now it's at a 15,866. 22 carat was 12,890. Now it's at a 14,545. 18 carat was 10,549. Now it's at an 11,904. That is today versus last month. Today versus last year. 11th Feb 2025, we're talking about 24 carat, 8,753. Now it's at a 15,866. 22 carat, 8,025. Now it's at a 14,545, and 18 carat was 6,566. It's at a whopping 11,904 when you compare it with last year. That's about gold, viewers. Let's talk about silver now. Today versus yesterday. Now today it's at a 290 for 1 gram. Yesterday it was a 290 as well. 2,90,000 1 kg, 2,90,000 as well. This is last week. Now today it's at 290 rupees for 1 gram, and on the 4th of Feb it was 320 rupees, and on the 11th of Feb it's 2,90,000 for 1 kg, whereas 4th Feb was 3,20,000. Today versus last month was 290 on the 11th of Feb, and 11 Jan was 260 at 1 gram, 2,90,000 11th Feb, 1 kg we're talking about, and 2,60,000 on the 11th of Jan. Last year, let's do the major comparison, viewers. This is where the prices change. 11th Feb 2025, 1 gram was 99.50. 11th Feb 2026 is 290. 1 kg is 99,500 on the 11th of Feb 2025, and now it's at a 2,90,000 on the 11th of Feb 2026. So this, of course, viewers, is the gold and silver price comparison. As I was telling you, we regularly keep getting you these updates on NewsX. I do have Dr. Sharad Kohli, senior economist, joining me on the broadcast. Dr. Kohli, I want to begin by gold prices. Now, there has been a surge. All right, we're going to try and reconnect with Dr. Sharad Kohli. But we are telling you, viewers, about gold prices and silver prices today versus yesterday, today versus last month, today versus last year, to give you an overall idea of how these prices are really differing and how they're changing, how they're moving. We were, of course, telling you earlier that both gold and silver prices have edged higher on Wednesday, which is, of course, today, after a downward rally on Tuesday amid expectations of a US Fed rate cut. So the prices, of course, have surged within a day. And that's what we're going to discuss. I do have Dr. Sharad Kohli, senior economist, joining me on the broadcast. Dr. Kohli, welcome. And we're talking about gold and silver prices, which have edged higher today after a downward rally on Tuesday. How would you like to explain that to our viewers?
Good morning, Vaishali, to you and the viewers. I think these price rallies are more related to, two factors. One, of course, is the speculative trading which happens in these commodity exchanges, whether it is New York or it is MCX in India, and, of course, the London Bullion Market and a few other markets around the world. That's reason number one. Reason number two is, the news flow. Because, for example, tensions on Iran, we keep getting all sorts of news. Sometimes there is some sign of a mediation-based peace. Sometimes that fades away. So I think there are varying kind of news flow coming in. These variations, Vaishali, if you ask me honestly, right now, as we talk now, it's around $5,050. I'm talking in the COMEX prices. Or Indian rupees, somewhere between 155,000 to 60,000 rupees. So these variations are normal. I think the volatility which was there went down from $5,000 to $4,600, then came back to $4,900, again went back to 40. I think that volatility sort of has cooled down. In fact, if you ask me on technical grounds, there is a new base which is forming because we plot the prices on the charts as well. There's a new base forming which is around $5,000. I think this is a very healthy, I would say, consolidation of gold and silver. Silver is settling down around $80, $82. It's a healthy consolidation. The volatility seems to be coming down slightly. And I think it's a good opportunity for people who are looking for long-term investments, Vaishali.